Hey guys, welcome to today's video and welcome on into my beauty stash. I have some new ColourPop products to share with you all today. I picked up the new Play It Cool eyeshadow palette. A neutral palette. I thought, let's do something neutral for a change. You guys know I always do colorful makeup, and so this is their latest palette. I'm sure something else, as I'm putting up this video, is going to be released within the next 24 hours. That's the way ColourPop usually operates. But more importantly, at least what I think is more important, I picked up 3 of the 5 shades of the Super Shock bronzers. I mentioned in one of my videos not too long ago, how cool would it be if ColourPop released Super Shock bronzers. Had no idea they were already in the plans to be released really soon, and here they are. Now, to my knowledge, these aren't new bronzers. ColourPop has done Super Shock bronzers in the past. I guess they just haven't been available for quite some time, because I honestly don't remember a time when there was Super Shock bronzers. If you have some of those original ColourPop Super Shock bronzers, leave it in the comments down below and let me know what your thoughts were. I was super excited to see these drop last week on the ColourPop website, and they also landed at Ulta over the weekend. Ulta only got 4 shades, and I believe there is 5 shades. So I picked up the first 3 lighter shades, and I picked up the new eyeshadow palette. I thought this would make for a good video. If it is your first time here on my channel, first and foremost, hello and welcome. My name is Steph. I love trying out new makeup. Makeup reviews is one of the primary things you see here on my channel. Also, multiple looks with eyeshadow palettes, makeup ranking. If all of that sounds good to you, do me a favor, click on the subscribe button and ring the bell notification icon so you'll be notified every time I do upload a new video. I upload quite a bit, and I tend to upload in the evenings during the week. On the weekend, it could be, you know, just whenever I have time. And if you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up on your way out. Of course, guys, as usual, I will have all the makeup that I'm using, both on and off camera, linked and listed in the description box. Some of those links might be affiliate links, so if you do end up shopping through them, I thank you so much for supporting me and my channel. Let's dive on into these new ColourPop goodies. If y'all want to see the 2 looks I'm going to create with Play It Cool, as well as swatching out the newly released ColourPop Super Shock bronzers, keep on watching. Alright guys, let's go ahead and start swatching the bronzers. I'm going to do some hand swatches first, and then I will be applying all 3 shades to my face. This first shade, this looks like the lightest shade. This one is called Get Sandy. And I'm just going to swatch that back here. Alright, so there's Get Sandy. Maybe a slight hint of a neutral to cool undertone. What do you guys think? Now, next up, this one is called I'll Bet. And I can definitely see more of a warm toned with this one. And then the third one, this one is called, what is this one called? Beachin'. These feel really creamy, buttery smooth. This one is definitely, I think, the warmest. So Beachin', I'll Bet, and then what was this first one? This one was Get Sandy. So I'll Bet and Get Sandy, they kind of look really similar, don't they? I'm going to go in with Beachin'. That's what I'm going to use on my forehead, and then I'll use the other 2 on each side of the face. All right, so I'm going to take this little BH Cosmetics brush. This is the Emerald brush. All right, so this is going on really easy. And I feel like there's a little bit of a red undertone, or there's a little bit of red in the shade. This one is called Beachin', but I like that. That's actually a really good shade match for me right now. This would be like the 3rd shade, like the middle shade. All right, very good. Now I'm gonna go in with I'll Bet. I'm gonna clean off my brush a little bit. Actually, let me grab another brush. I'm going to use this one from Juvia's place. That's really pretty. And these are matte bronzers. They're not, there's no shimmer. And I didn't powder down the perimeter of my face. I just did the T-zone and under my eye. I think that looks pretty good. You can always grab your beauty sponge and just press over everything. I am going to add blush, bronzer, and highlighter. Not bronzer, blush and highlighter. So I like that. Now let me go into, this is going to be the lightest one, Get Sandy. It's a nice shade. I think definitely if you have a very fair complexion, Get Sandy is going to be your best option. Okay, now I'm going to do a little bit of Get Sandy on my nose. And again, if you've never tried the Super Shock formula, it is kind of like a cream to powder. It feels very putty-like very buttery smooth, but it does go on as it dries down as a powder. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say like it dries down because it doesn't feel wet when you're applying it. It just feels really good, really smooth. Okay, let me add some blush and highlighter. Of course, they're going to be Super Shock. For blush, I'm going to go in with this one. This one is in the shade Viole. And then for highlighter, I'm going to go in with this one from the Winnie the Pooh collection. This one is Silly Old Bear. Okay guys, so I love the way this Super Shock bronzer looks. I have the darker one on my forehead. Darker one was called Beachin'. I have, what was the next? Get Sandy is the lightest one. That's one I have over here. And then I'll Bet was the second shade, and that's what's on this side. And then Get Sandy is what I have on my nose. Easy to work with, easy to blend out. These are super affordable. I think they're $8. They're definitely under $10, but I want to say they're $8. Most Super Shock products are like between the $5 and $8 range. So I'm really glad that ColourPop has been able to keep the cost relatively low despite the prices of everything else going up. I do want to mention I'm wearing a ColourPop lip gloss. This is a So Glassy lip gloss. This one is in the shade Huntington. So now we're going to start playing with the Clay It Cool eyeshadow palette. I do want to mention this was a full collection. It included, I think, a highlighter and some lippies. I just chose to get the palette and to try out the new bronzers for you guys. So let me go ahead and start creating 2 looks with this new one, and then we'll wrap up today's video. Now I've already primed my eyelids. Today I'm using the ABH Eyeshadow Primer. I'm not using my regular Too Faced one. I decided to go for ABH. So here's the beautiful eyeshadow palette. I like the tones of this palette. That's something that drew me to it. I was just something about this palette. I thought a lot of you would be interested in seeing how this palette performed. You guys know I do a lot of colorful looks on my channel, so it's nice to bring it down a few notches now and again and try out some neutral palettes, neutral shadows. So I think what I'm going to do first, I'm going to go in with this shade right here. The shade is called Body Talk. I'm taking this fluffy blender brush from Juvia's place. I'm gonna work this in the crease. This shade is building up really well. This is a beautiful, beautiful shade. All right, now I'm going to go in with this shade right here. The shade is called Killin' It. And I'm going to take it on this little Uden's Eye brush. I'm trying to use brushes that I haven't used in a while, to be honest. I really do like the Juvia's Place brushes. They're really good. And that I know of, you can't buy them like individually. You just have to buy the set. But I think they're a good buy. And you know Juvia's is always having, that is a very intense shade. Wow. You know Juvia's is always having sales. I think they're having a sale right now. So I'll have them linked in the description box. Wow, that is a really pigmented shade. Okay, now I'm going to add a little bit of this shade right here. This one is called Aphrodite. Taking on this little Juvia's Place blender brush. This is probably my favorite brush from that Juvia's brush collection because it allows you to do really detailed work. I would say this is even smaller than the Refer 13, which is another one of my favorites. Wow, these shadows just blend so well with one another. I'm going to go back in with the Uden's Eye brush. No additional product. Now let's add some sparkle. I think I'm going to do this shade right here. This one is called Mud Pot. I'm using this brush that I got from Rock and Roll Beauty. Wow, this is a beautiful shade. Oh, I knew there was a reason I was drawn to this palette. It's beautiful. I'm going to add a little bit more of that really dark shade. Just right in here. Just use it to blend. Okay, now for the lower lash line, I think I'm going to use the shade Killin' It. That was the second shade I used in the crease. And I'm going to use this little Juvia's Place brush. These brushes don't have names or numbers. That's why I'm not saying them. Now with that same brush, I'm just cleaning it off. I'm going to go into the shade right here for the inner corner. Okay guys, I'm going to do those finishing touches off camera and I'll be right back to show you this first look. Okay guys, here's the completed look number 1. For mascara, I'll be using the ColourPop Level Up Mascara. In the waterline, I went in with a new shade of the e.l.f. No Budge Shadow Stick. This one is in the shade Groovy. And this is the way the look turned out. Very easy, very quick, simple. These shadows are really pigmented. And look at that red shimmer on the lid. I am loving it. Let's move over to the left eye and start working on look number 2. Okay, so for look number 2, I think I'm going to start, this is a cream shade. That is the only cream shade in the bunch. Obviously haven't swatched this palette yet. This one, no, that's the only cream shade. So what I think I'm gonna do first is go in with this shade right here. This one is called Figurine. I'm gonna put that in the crease. I'm gonna use this Juvia's Place brush. And then we will see about working with that cream shadow. That's different. All right, now I'm just gonna go straight into the deeper matte. I'm gonna use this fluffy brush. I'm gonna switch to the little smaller blender brush from Juvia's. Okay, so loving the way these shadows are blending. Now let's try that cream shade. That's called Need You. So maybe is it a cream shade or is it like a base? Okay, so I just looked it up. It is a cream shadow. It says it's going to not dry up and not crease. And it dries down to a matte. Very interesting. I don't use a lot of cream shadows. So I think honestly for me, I would just use this as a base and that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of this shadow and then this shadow. So I'm taking this shade, it's called Biscuit on a damp Refer 21. Now I'm going to go in with Earth Bay. Same brush, I just flipped it over. Now I'm picking up a little bit of Aphrodite, which is the darkest shade, to blend everything. Now I'm going to take a little bit of this shade right here and apply it to the brow bone. Now for the lower lash line, I'm going to go back in with Figurine. Get it on this little Juvia's Place pencil brush. I'm going to try using the cream shadow right there. I just want to see what it does. It does dry down to a matte. So I'm using a Refer 26 for Need You, the cream shade. I'll leave it like that though, just because I covered it all up over here. So with that, I've used every shade in this 10-pan palette. Let me take care of the finishing touches off camera, and I'll be right back to show you the completed look number 2, and then we'll wrap up today's video. Okay guys, here's the completed look number 2. For the top lash line, I went in with a ColourPop liquid liner. This one is in the shade Wine Not. For the lower waterline, this one from Urban Decay, the 24/7 Glide On pencil in the shade Alkaline, and more Level Up mascara also from ColourPop. This is the completed look. These are the 2 completed looks with Clay It Cool. I did use every single shade in the palette. Let me go ahead and wrap up today's video, share with you guys my final thoughts on the new Super Shock bronzers as well as this new eyeshadow palette. Alright guys, I love the way both of these looks turned out. It was so easy to create these looks, and I think this is definitely a color of clay. I do like the packaging. I think it's cute. You have the shade names on the back. There is no mirror in this one, but these are the 10 different shadows that you get. So we're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matte shades, powder matte shades, 1 cream matte shade, and then 4 shimmer shades. I thought the shimmer shades were fantastic. If this color story appeals to you, this is definitely worth adding to your cart the next time you're going to do a ColourPop order. I thought this was nice. I was just drawn to this color story for some reason. Usually, you guys know I'm always creating colorful makeup looks, but like I mentioned earlier, sometimes it's fun to just dial it back a little bit and create something neutral. I know not all of you are going to wear colorful makeup looks all the time, and maybe this is your colorful makeup look, because these are definitely rusty red clay toned colors, and I had such a good time playing with this palette today. Like the size of it, it's a cool palette, definitely worth checking out. As far as the Super Shock bronzers go, well, they need no introduction, and you guys know how I feel about these. I love them. I even said a few weeks ago, when are they gonna make a Super Shock bronzers? Wouldn't that be so cool? And here they are. Once again, I picked up the 3 lightest shades. There are, I believe, 5 shades to choose from. You can find all 5 shades on the ColourPop website. Don't know like what all is in stock or out of stock. And then you can find 4 of the 5 shades over at Ulta online. So now I want to hear from you guys. What did you all think of the Super Shock bronzers? I know some of you ordered them already. What do you think of this Clay It Cool eyeshadow palette? Are you going to be picking the palette up? Maybe you did already, or maybe you're on a no buy right now. I wouldn't blame you if you are, but hopefully you guys can check some of these products out. And again, everything I used will be linked in the description box. I want to thank you guys so much for watching another one of my videos. You all have a great day or night, wherever it is you all are at. Stay hydrated, guys. Drink your water. Cheers. And I will see you all very soon. Bye.